What's up, gamers? Today has been an incredibly long day as we've been anxiously waiting for this oh buddy buckle up moment to pay itself off. We have the official patch notes for update 1. This is not even labeled a hot fix, and this is pretty substantial. Now, it's not going to include everything that we all wanted, but I know the question has been out there and has been asked, do I owe anybody gifted members on the channel, or was my prediction about key rebinding correct? And the best news of all is I was correct. Not even like no sentiment of humility. There's the right word at play here. Speaking of which, guys, thank you so much to everybody who is new to the channel. We've been getting so many new subscribers around here. I really do appreciate the support of the content. Thank you guys so much for that. Welcome in. And as I always say, I want to earn your sub. And if I do, sound off in the comments and I can welcome you. And I'd love to make sure that you feel welcomed here at the channel. But let's jump into the real reason why you clicked on this video. Let's go through the patch notes. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts along the way. This was a delayed patch. I talked about this on the live stream a little bit, namely because it was pretty much radio silence all day until late in to the evening. But Kuro kicks us off, celebrating our 2-week launch anniversary, which was yesterday, of No Rest for the Wicked. We are releasing our first early access patch. This patch brings significant CPU and GPU performance improvements, especially when it comes to traversal and heavy areas. Keyboard control remapping, a new mouse keyboard control scheme, increased inventory stacks, chest inventory at vendors, crafting bows using bows using stamina. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Crafting bows using stamina? Interesting. Earlier housing access, quality of life, and 45 different bug fixes. With all of the performance improvements since launch, we are updating our recommended PC specs. See the second image for details. As always, thank you guys so much for sharing your feedback, and please keep it up. We're going to kick this off right first with performance updates. They optimize the Protolo Outro ship attack, Phelan Armada, and Sacrament intro cinematics. Mountain Pass gate area has gotten several optimizations, significant optimizations in content loading and unloading in order to reduce drop frames and improve baseline performance when traversing through environments. They improve performance for the Ice and Frost enchantment and combat effects. They optimize enemies, making them faster to initiate across the board. They improve GPU performance and calling and general handling of off-screen content. They optimize microphysic objects across the entire game. Various cumulative improvements to baseline CPU performance. They fix various cases where internal errors were firing rapidly and consistently, leading to potential performance degradations. They added preloading for frequently used objects to further reduce performance drops during gameplay, and they added additional time scaling systems for streaming performance improvements. They optimized the pooling system, the vast amount of meshes and textures, the numbers of visual effects. Pre-placement dynamic enemy ragdolls have also been optimized, and character rendering across the board has also received a pass here. They're rendering performance optimizations for better GPU performances across the board. They cleaned up and archived duplicated content for decreased memory usage, and they cleaned up legacy content in all areas across the game to reduce memory usage. Now, what you don't see here that's not listed is DLSS support, which the devs have said they actually have in the game, but it's not going to be in this specific patch. But that does mean that maybe if we get a patch once a week right now, we'll have to wait and see what next week holds, that we could see DLSS and other features brought in pretty dadgum quickly. Anyway, there's a lot to still cover in this video. Let's jump into quality of life. Vendors and crafting table refineries can now access resources directly from storage. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Yes, this is going to be a game changer. I'm really happy to see that. Housing is now available sooner, right after completing the Sacrament quest, instead of having after completing of Rats and Raiders quest. They updated sorting for inventory to these categories, and the gear, weapons, armor, rings, offhand tools, runes, housing items, and item blueprints food, ingredients, food, and recipes. The combat consumables, bombs, vials, oils, and embers, resources and gems and components are all grouped. Realm keys and realm and key items have been added and grouped together. So I think that's actually pretty interesting. I'm going to see how that feels, obviously, and hopefully that ends up feeling a much better. But there's also more quality of life changes than just that. The last equipped food quick item will be saved when leaving and rejoining the realm. I know I've been magically shifted from what food item I had. Deprioritization of ingredients is also being added to the auto select food, so that if you use your food and you run out, it will automatically prioritize like a baked, or a prepared food as opposed to just like a potato. And I know there's been times when I've been fighting and all of a sudden the dreaded potato comes up and I'm like, oh no, this is not going to go well. Cinematic skip prompts also will appear by pressing the button instead of holding it, and improved legibility of some of the controller icons here on the Steam Deck. For those of you who've left comments talking about when can I do some key rebinding, that's here right now in the settings. They added custom key rebinding options for keyboard. Controller rebinding will be coming soon, as will controller guides coming from me. So hopefully you guys look forward to those videos. Menu key rebinding currently is not available, and they added in additional mouse and WASD keyboard layout at control layout on by default. For content, they have added in the knot for purchase near Sacrament Cemetery for 8 silver. They also added in tier 3 armor sets, false ones, where you get the False Guardian, Harbinger, Oathkeeper, and Remnant. New character animations, 2 main menu, and customization screens have been added. For the loot, they increased the number of slots that all chests and cupboards have. So in grade, her side chest has been raised from 35 to 40, medium from 20 to 30, small from 10 to 20, large and large noble cupboard raised from 30 to 40, medium raised from 20 to 30, small from 10 to 20. They nerfed focus grant on focus vials, so it's going down from 300 to 150 on a large, 200 to 100 on a medium, and 100 to 50 on a small. Cupboards can also now store ingredients, which I think is a huge win. Thank you very much for that. They increased armor and weapon shard stack size to 25. They increased the buy-sell value of all tools and rings at vendors, and they removed refined resources from vendors. So this is going to be interesting with the refinement going away. I think that's going to help the overall gameplay loop, but that is going to make crafting and upgrading your town way more important in the long run. So keep it locked here. I'll be seeing if you guys have any questions, and if you do need any help, let me know. We can get you guys rocking and rolling. All weapon oil recipes are now tier 1. Dracena dumpling now requires 2 potatoes and 1 Dracena herb instead of 1 potato and 2 Dracena herbs. They improved shinies for their visual effects. For balance updates, the attacking with bows now costs stamina instead of focus. The rebalancing enemy levels in Nameless Pass. So if you've not completed Rats or Raiders or Servant of God, this is basically how it's going to go. You're going to enter in Nameless Pass at level 8, and the rest of Nameless Pass will be level 15. Now, if only Rats or Raiders or the Servant of God is complete, you will all of Nameless Pass is level 15. If both Rats and Raiders and Servant of God quests are completed, entry to Nameless Pass is level 15, and the rest of the pass will be level 20. They nerfed attribute scalings on all stabs. They nerfed focus gain on focus damage dealt enchantment, and they nerfed health gain on health damage dealt enchantment. And that breaks my heart. That's the one perk that I've been hunting. I finally got a couple of them. We're going to see how if that feels vastly different when we step back into the Crucible here in just a little bit. Increase the focus cost of the elemental throw runes to 75. For enemy and bosses, they nerf damage for grab from the Riven Twins and the Ninth Brute. If you guys have ever been grabbed by those attacks, they are brutal. We'll have to see. I might have to purposely get grabbed now just to see how big of a difference that is. They updated timing for the Berserker archetype and slightly changed the behavior, so now after some of the attacks that they will try and land additional attacks. They updated the Risen Armor Great Axe Patrol animation. They polished the backstab animation on the Ninth Screamers and the Shackled Brutes. They polished jump attack animations for the Plague Boomer, and they polished a heavy combo attack on the Risen Axe Bruiser. NPCs have seen some polish updates to their portraits, housing the Roost has now been added or has been reduced from 20 silver to 14 silver. And for area changes, they've improved collision faders to set addressing in Mariner's Keep, Orbit and Glades, Black Trench, Nameless Pass, Sacrament, Cherem Crucible, and Potion Seller's Cave. They improved the lighting and the volumetrics for the ship prologue. They improved lighting for the interior of Whittaker's building. They updated models and textures for pipes in the Black Trench. They removed Seidel from multiple locations where it was just not needed. Audio changes, they updated the ambience in the Cherem Gate. They updated audio for Sacrament Cemetery. They updated audio zone for Sacrament Slums to include the river. They improved audio for lanterns in Sacrament. They improved female bandit voices, and they polished Nameless Pass prisoner audio. Bounties and Challenges, the Plague Iker for the dual bruiser bounty will now drop with the second bruiser is killed instead of given for the bounty reward. For the Tutorialization, man, I failed on that word hardcore. Large sidebar tutorial screening size has been increased, now adjusted with width based on the content, and added in a scroll bar. Localization changes, they added an updated localization text on many places across multiple languages, added support for multiple missing localization elements. They fixed text overlapping for tutorials in multiple languages, fixed Russian font sizing. We got substantial bugs. They said like 45 fixes here, so let's just get into it. Fix an exploit where after removing a furnace tanning rack, all resources used to refine are returned. Fixed enemies T-posing when leaving camera view and coming back. They fixed Danos stealing resources and putting them towards other upgrades. I've seen that happen from time to time. Fixed being able to activate a new bounty while there is an existing completed unclaimed bounty. They fixed the wrong prompts used for abandoning and replacing bounties and challenges. They fixed attribute requirements on Ripper, Tongue Splitter, Coral Piercer, Falstead's Fury, and Brutish Cudgel weapons. Fixed hit bosses on Plague Boomer's Warm Tongue attack being too big. They fixed players not getting a rested bonus when sleeping in beds. Literally no rest for the wicked. Well done. Whoever wrote the notes, bravo. Tip of that to you. Fix old leather tome quest from failing to be added to the inventory if miscellaneous selection is full. Item was now a realm key item. And fix character avatar still showing the last worn helmet. Fix spots inside the ship of the prologue where you can dodge through collision and get stuck. Then they fixed several broken ladders in Orbian Glades. They fixed focus regeneration enhancement to regen correctly. Fixed Plague Boomer hitboxes. Fixed Plague Rat's ability to see and react to the player. They fixed Huntsman falling when using the rollback. Fixed Cage Exile being unable to path towards the player correctly. Fixed health on damage dealt enchantment on Wind and Death of Kutana. Fixed arrows visually hitting the player despite successfully dodging them. Fixed the firebomb explosion radius not matching the visual effect. Fixed kill challenges that require specific weapon type counting non-weapon kills such as explosions, falls, parries, blocks, etc. Fixed character rim light using incorrect color for intensity indoors. Fixed dropped items bag black artifacts. Fixed Radigan appearing in Nameless Pass when he shouldn't. And finally, fixed Finley getting targeted by enemies. They fixed the Heavy Bruiser Bandit armor set, pants to being invisible. Well done, Kings. The Emperor's new clothes there we go. Then they fixed the chest trying to hide in the ground in Nameless Pass. They fixed chests trying to hide in other chests in Orbit and Glades. They fixed marker sub-labels on the map showing on markers that don't have a sub-label. They fixed being able to see out of the world's Fillmore's level 3 area. They fixed missing character lighting in Gordian interior. They fixed interior candles not applying light. They fixed burning sails clipping in Risen attack cinematics in the prologue. They fixed sky cutting out of the ship cinematic in prologue. They fixed fallen ones overlapping their own voiceover. They fixed the return rune auto loop not ending. They fixed dancing flowers outside of Caroline's Inn. They fixed rain audio appearing in Cherem Crucible and War Room. They fixed wretched and crestfallen archer tunic clipping into the character. They fixed broken rigging on noble leather cloak. They fixed Riven Twins intro cinematic using cut to black instead of fading. The rusty skewer straight sword has been fixed using the blood rusted straight sword icon, and fixed missing icon for collect mushroom soup challenge. They fixed a typo in equipable in the inventory tutorial, and they reduced localization or locations where Caroline spawns to just one or before the Inquisition arrival, and one for after. Remove duplicate lantern and torch and sacrament, and they fixed a small texture artifact on cloth for the Phelan Church cinematic. And this, as you can see, feels absolutely quite substantial as a first main patch. Not a hot fix, but something that they've actually put in work. Now, it's been 2 weeks, so something from, as a developer, to let you guys know, that tells me they're also on a 2-week sprint cycle. A hot fix happens between the sprint cycle because that's just a natural fact of development. Things might need to be changed. But what we could probably expect to see here reasonably is that an update like this will roll out every other week. And that's kind of what we're going to want, as a gaming community, as people who enjoy this game, because that in and of itself gives them plenty of time to actually do the work that's necessary so we can see bigger changes. At some point that will slow down and we will see what that kind of shakes out. But I would kind of go out on a limb and say I'd be willing to put gifted members on the line for that. So we'll see what happens, whether we get an update next week. We might get some hot fixes next week or a hot fix, but in terms of whatever they call update 2, I'm expecting that we will see that here in just a little bit. Now, as we do with every one of these videos, I'd like to kind of bring in the community discussion, and we got Bartos sounding off. He says, after 120 hours in Wicked, maxing 2 characters, I feel like I've had enough for now. We'll be waiting for updates and watching your videos until then. Keep on rocking. So thank you so much for what a great comment. But also, this is kind of where the question to you guys is that how much time do you need in a game, and when is a good time to step away? 120 hours is really substantial. And when you think about it, it's been 2 weeks. That's averaging 60 hours a week. That's a sign of a really good game. And it also is a sign of a great level of maturity that you're willing to step away from that game, because burnout is a real thing. I personally am all for taking breaks from games, namely because variety is the spice of life. And if you kind of have that principle, yes, consume your game that you're excited about, but don't be afraid to step away. And it's gonna be interesting to see how this early access goes. So I'd love to hear your thoughts about like how many hours you've got in the game. Do you feel like you're going to be constantly playing it? Are you going to be checking it in, and at what frequency? It's truly, I think, an interesting subject and an interesting topic to cover. But guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. I'm going to go back to streaming a little bit. We're going to be checking out the patch hands-on. If you guys like the content here and want to support it for free, hit that like button. You can always double tap that dislike button because it gets stuck from time to time. That's what I hear. And if you want to go above and beyond, channel memberships start at $3. But beyond that, we also have various affiliate links in the description of these videos. And if you go check out those, that does help support me and the kids financially. So all of that being said, guys, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you, every member here at the channel, and everybody here who's watching live, and everybody here who's watching this video once it's finished editing. Special thanks to Jack for editing this. I know it's going to be a late night. And outside of that, guys, I just wish you all the very best. Thank you so much, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. But until then, take care.